What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having an amazing day as always. You can follow me on Instagram at DreamRare. That's Instagram, DreamRare. You can follow me on Twitter at Legendary Energy. My website is legendary.vision. After this video, I'm going to post my links to my email list below, and if you would like to support, I'm going to wait about 10, 15, 20 seconds for people to come in. And I want to do a little analysis on what's going on in the political realm and why I believe that Trump supporters are winning, why Trump haters are losing, and why New Age progressives are surpassing and overlapping liberal Democrats. So give me about 10 seconds for people to get in, enjoy my coffee for a little bit more. Blessings on blessings. Thank you guys for coming in. So as many of you know, I like to really analyze what's going on. I'm not very strongly opinionated about a lot of things. Some things I am. What's most fascinating to me is how much the news is lying, and also what's really going on at the core of it, the philosophy, the psychology behind politics and, modern day society and what's really happening with the public. And this is my analysis of what's going on, and you're not going to find it on TV. I think it's a great analysis for anybody, no matter what side of the coin you're on. I think it's a good thing to hear. If you want the comfortable lie, you could turn on TV. There's a bunch of comfortable liars on TV. You have Stephen Colbert, who lies every single day. You have Trevor Noah, who lies every single day. You have Chris Hayes, Rachel Maddow. A lot of people, most of CNN, they lie all day, every day. So if you want something that, tells you that you're right and that everything that you believe is true, then maybe this is not the cast for you. But if you want to hear what otherwise is an unpopular opinion, but is probably a lot more accurate than any other analysis of what's really going on in 2017 today, this is for you. I want to start with why Trump haters are losing. And it's important because I want everybody to win. I want people to start small businesses, enjoy their family, have a good day. And at the core of everything, I think we all need to understand that no matter how deep down the rabbit hole we go, no matter how woke we think we are and how much we know about politics and the world, there's still so much that we don't know. So I think keeping the ego low is always good, and keeping the possibilities open. I always say, I made a video about the moon, went viral recently, but Earth is mostly unexplored. About 70+% of the whole Earth is ocean, and 95% of the ocean is unexplored. So a large portion of our own planet we don't even understand about. So, that's first and foremost before we even get into it. It's, always keep your mind open. Don't think you know everything. But the reason that Trump haters are losing so hard, and they're losing not only to Trump supporters, but they're also losing on the left to progressive New Age progressives, is because the modern day liberal Democrat, and I hate to use terminology, but just the standard liberal Democrat, like you listen to Stephen Colbert, you believe Trevor Noah, you believe Chelsea Handler, you think Rachel Maddow is telling the truth, you read CNN and New York Times and Washington Post, you're going to eternally lose in the new age because there's nothing progressive about the liberal Democrat. They're lying about almost everything. They have no set stances. They have no opinions about everything. They lie about border security. They lie about travel security. They lie about the Middle East. They lie about what's happening. They lie about why Trump won. They're lying about everything. They hate progressives because progressives are like, more woke versions of them. So there's just nothing on that side anymore. Even as a left-leaning person, I never asked them to be this dishonest. I never asked them to lose in this many ways. But Trump haters are losing primarily because they're getting lied to about almost everything. And when I watch the TV, what they're showing other people, their portrayal of Trump and their portrayal of conservatives and their portrayal of libertarians and their portrayal of progressives, their portrayal of it, Stephen Colbert, the Trevor Noahs, the late night talk show hosts, the Jimmy Kimmels, their portrayal couldn't be further from the truth. They're trying to make people blame everything on Republicans, and you'll see as I go out throughout the speech, I don't think Republicans are a step up. I don't think they're great or anything. But what the liberal Democrats are doing via the media is they're trying to make their audience feel superior than other people. Like, oh, let's look at the Republicans. Look how dumb they are. Ha, 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 ha. Let's laugh at them. Oh my God, they're so dumb. They're so dumb. Republicans are so dumb. Trump supporters are so dumb. Trump supporters are just Republicans. Oh, look at Roy Moore. Look at Central America. Ha 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 ha. It's like what every cast is. So you have millions of people who are following these people, and almost everything they believe is a lie. They're like, whoa, Russia's doing everything. Like, oh my God, everything's Russia's fault. And wow, look how dumb conservatives are. And on a spiritual, philosophical, and psychological standpoint, what makes this so dumb, and why liberal Democrats are just lowering down and, you know, almost devolving, they're evolving backwards in time, like going back to caveman status, is because on a spiritual, philosophical, and level, self-reflection is so key. Like looking within for the answers instead of demanding everything else, instead of having all these expectations, instead of blaming your problems and victimizing yourself, blaming it on everybody else. It's a spiritual and realistic nightmare for any human being. So you learn the most and you evolve and you gain knowledge and wisdom when you keep an open mind and you're listening to all sides. So on a spiritual and philosophical level, they have dumbed down the liberal Democrats so much that their whole strategy is just to make fun of conservatives and Republicans and Trump supporters. But here's the thing that people are missing. And I've been very vocal in the past. I have said that Republicans are very, very stubborn. Conservatives, you know, a lot of their ideology is keep conservative. It is a very stubborn ideology on some things. But the level of stubbornness that has come from the liberal Democrats over the last 2 years is on another level. So Trump came along. He's actually not really even a Republican. The Republicans don't like him. The Democrats don't like him. The political establishment doesn't like him. He's a very progressive type person. You know, he's very blunt. He does what he says he's going to do. He's listening to people. He's changing his mind. I mean, and they portray him as this Republican, like, oh, he's just a normal Republican, and let's blame everything in the world on Republicans, and everything's Republicans' fault. And so if you watch all of these shows, if you believe Facebook, Google, and Twitter, which a lot of people do, because if you're just a casual person, they know how to kind of lure people in. If you care about the environment, social justice, women's rights, blah, 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 they know exactly how to lure you in like sheep and just put you in a corner. So their portrayal of Trump, their portrayal of the Republican Party, their portrayal of conservatives, their portrayal of the new movement of conservatives is 1,000% wrong. So if you're listening to any of these people I talked about, you're getting lied to. It's just what it is. You know, I don't like to point the finger and blame at other people. I tell everyone, look within, get better yourself. But I mean, watching a day or two of TV, it just makes me realize, wow, they lie to their audience every single day. And then the commercials are all like pills, depression commercials, like, you know, get you really sad and then try to get you a lawyer or a pill. I mean, these are disgusting people on disgusting networks. I'm kind of sick and tired of it. But that's why Trump haters are losing. It's not because Trump is perfect. It's not because Republicans are perfect. It's not because conservatives are perfect. But for some reason, the liberal media and the liberal Democrat media is misrepresenting and lying about everything. And I say this as a friend. I don't say this to make fun of liberal Democrats or traditional Democrats. I think there's a lot to be had. There's a lot to be improved. I don't think Republicans have all the answers. To be honest, I am blown away by how low the bar is set. I always say I don't think Trump won because he's this superhuman person who like overcame Hercules. I say he won because politicians set the bar so low that Donald Trump can come in, say whatever he wants, do whatever he wants, and by default he's better than them because they're so terrible. But instead of improving, instead of learning what they did wrong, instead of realizing that they misrepresented 300 million people in America, and internet and technology is changing everything, and nobody believes the news anymore, and people sit at their cell phones instead of watching commercials, instead of embracing reality, the liberal Democrats and the liberal media has decided to blame everything on everybody else. It's a spiritual nightmare. It's a psychological nightmare. Everything they're doing is totally wrong. It's a backward strategy. It's never going to win. It's just going to drive you into further and further delusion. So what I say is, if you do hate Trump, like I always say, I understand not liking his policies. There's progressive people I watch, and I'm going to get into that later, that I watch to see like a counter, see the other side and listen to stuff. I just can't listen to liberals anymore because they don't have a stance. They don't even have a side. It's all on the progressive left-leaning side because liberals are losing and everything. So if you're a Trump hater that watches these news networks to feel comfortable and, tunes in. Everything he's doing is a natural, like, nightmare. You watch some of these shows and they say, oh, everything he's doing is trying to destroy the planet. I mean, come on. Think for a second. No matter how bad you think he is, do you think he really came in to just destroy the whole world? I mean, it's so goofy. How long is Trevor Noah going to lie to his audience? I mean, at what point does he look within Joy Behar and all The View, all of these people? At what point do they look in the mirror and say, you know what? Maybe I have some learning to do. Maybe I need to reach out to the other side. Maybe I need to pull a Van Jones who, took a trip around the country and was like, you know what? Maybe it was our fault. It wasn't 100 million people's fault and Russia's fault. Maybe we have something to blame. So Trump haters are losing because they're getting lied to about almost every single thing, unless they listen to someone like me, or unless they listen to a progressive source like a Jimmy Dore or an H.A. Goodman, who at least keep it semi-real with them. Why Trump supporters are winning, this goes hand in hand. And once again, for people listening, for people just joining, this is worth considering, worth listening to, because the comfortable lie is everywhere. The comfortable lies on Facebook every day, the comfortable lies on Twitter, the comfortable lies on Google, on YouTube, the comfortable lies on every single news network. It's on every late night show. It's on every comedy show. It's a very, very comfortable lie. You could watch the comfortable lie and you could be like, oh, this justifies how I already feel. I hate these people and I think I'm better than these people, so yeah, that makes sense. But it's a lie. And while they're giving you this lie to keep you stagnant, to keep you from doing something, to keep you from achieving something in the greatest time in humanity, we have cell phones and technology and Uber and Lyft and all sorts of machines and computers at the palm of our hands. And our ancestors had to work in factories. That was the only option. So we're incredibly grateful, but you're never going to hear that on the news because they want you to think it's the worst time ever, because I don't know why. They're lying. They're getting paid. Maybe they're working for an agency or something and getting like hundreds of millions of dollars backdoor. Maybe they're, they sold their soul. I don't know why they're consistently lying. Maybe it's because of ratings. The second they stop lying about Trump, their whole news network crashes. Maybe they're crashing anyway, and it's just like a Stockholm syndrome. They've been prisoners for so long that they actually believe themselves and they're, hanging on to the oppressor. I don't know what it is, but they're totally lying. And the reason that Trump supporters are winning is because modern day Trump supporters are learning and evolving. Like I said, I'm not one to be like, wow, Republicans and conservatives are perfect. To be honest, I was caught in that echo chamber, that left-leaning Democrat liberal echo chamber my whole life. I was kind of outside of it, to be honest, because I always knew the news was lying. I knew it was a deeper thing, so I never really played that game. But as far as thinking Republicans and conservatives were the worst ones, for sure, I played that whole game my whole life, and I believed those lies. And at a certain point, I think they were true. Like when you have a Bush or somebody that's an establishment status quo Republican, you're going to get status quo Republican stuff, not libertarian or conservative stuff, which I find a little more progressive. But Trump supporters, because of Donald Trump, because of people honestly like Alex Jones, because of people like me, because of people like Dave Rubin and Milo Yiannopoulos and Ben Shapiro and a lot of others that are either central to right-leaning people, Trump supporters and Christians and conservatives are evolving over these last 2 years unlike anything I've ever seen before. They're open, they're listening, they understand the Democrats are corrupt, they understand the Republicans are corrupt. They're going deeper to see how the world really works, because if you watch the news, whether you agree with what they're saying or not, they're never painting the full story. There's a whole chess game that's getting played on planet Earth right now between countries, between religions. It's very, very deep. Could be even deeper than I understand. Like I said, we don't even know the full story. So anybody that tells you that they know the full chess game, they're probably lying, because there's so much that no human being really can fully understand. Like, we're on this planet, who knows what we're doing here, what's really going on. But as far as what they say on the news, it's like you're talking about going down the rabbit hole. The things that they talk about are so archaic, are so elementary. It's just kind of embarrassing for any intellect or somebody that wants to consider themselves politically knowledgeable. I know it's getting ratings, but they're not talking about anything. And if you're a Trump supporter, even if you go on the Donald Reddit, while the liberal media and Twitter and Google, they're trying to paint the Donald Reddit as, whoa, it's this big like Nazi haven of like white supremacists who want to destroy everybody. It's just not at all true. Does the Donald Reddit get ignorant sometimes? Totally, absolutely. Sometimes I'll read some of the threads and I'm like, you know what? I don't agree with this. It's very ignorant. It's very mean. It's very rude. But guess what? We're all adults here. I don't cry about it. I don't scream and write 50 million articles saying how bad they are. Oh my God, Milo's so bad because he's so mean. It's so embarrassing. But there's so much truth, and there's so much deep diving truth. The average Trump supporter is diving 5 levels deeper than the average liberal Democrat who believes the Stephen Colberts and the Trevor Noahs and the Rachel Maddows. They're so dishonest, and they're so embarrassingly childish with their approach to politics and the world and everything, that as Trump haters are just hating on conservatives, and they're playing this game that I think I'm better than conservatives and Republicans, I think I'm smarter than middle America, I'm better than white supremacists, I'm better than neo-Nazis. Aren't we all? Congratulations. I would hope that you're better than a neo-Nazi. I would hope that you're better than a conservative. I would hope that you're better than an ignorant person from central U.S. I would hope that you're better than an ignorant person from a urban city. So I don't really care where you're from. Just looking and analyzing this stuff realistically, psychologically, it's a total disaster. They have liberals playing the blame game, but meanwhile, the people that they're blaming are just getting smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter, and learning more and more and more and more, learning what's really going on in foreign policy. They're learning what's going on here. They're learning how the world works and how the Democrats and the Republicans are working together. And, as they're leveling up, liberal Democrats are leveling down because they're playing this blame game. I have a PhD. I went to college. Oh, look at this Trump supporter who didn't graduate high school and works a labor job. I'm so much better than them. It's like the arrogance, the ignorance, and the stubbornness has now fully surpassed the average conservative, Republican, or Trump supporter. And Trump is has a big reason to do with this too, as well as the internet and younger kids just being a little bit more knowledgeable thanks to the internet. This is the reality of what's going on. And the sad part is, as basic as this conversation is, as kind as it is, as friendly as it is, as open-minded as it is, you won't see this conversation anywhere else but my channel, because no one's talking about it. The news is lying about it every single day. Facebook's lying about it every single day. Twitter's lying about it every single day. Every single celebrity besides Roseanne is lying about it every single day. Every late night comedy host or TV show host, they're lying every single day. So the amount of lies are so enormous, and it's just like, how long can these people lie to their audiences? How long can they stack up these Russian narratives and this, oh my God, let's make fun of Republicans? Like, it's so dumb that they're turning into a bunch of hyenas. Like, oh man, I'm so much better than working class people. I mean, even if it was true, what are you teaching your audience? What are they learning? Nothing. It's like going 20 years back in time. And to add on to this is why New Age progressives are lapping liberal Democrats, and they're soon probably going to take over the entire party if they haven't already. I mean, average liberal Democrats, I don't know if they're ever going to win elections again. I mean, all of the energy on the left side came from Bernie Sanders kind of waking people up, although people have their own opinions. I personally think Bernie's a huge fraud. I think he did a 180, took $200 million plus dollars from his people, and totally turned into a big phony who's not really standing up for anything he said he was going to, except for his policies. It's a whole different discussion, but Bernie at least woke people up. He made people realize the two-party establishment was corrupt. He made people realize the mainstream media was corrupt. Although he's not really fighting it anymore, his presence alone made people realize, wow, they're not covering him accurately. Something's going on. The media is just a PR team for the Democrats, and they're attack dogs for Bernie Sanders and the Republicans. So New Age progressives led by, I don't even like the Young Turks. I find them to be very dishonest and condescending. But I would say Jimmy Dore is a watchable progressive. Although I say I want to debate him, which I do. If you're out there, Jimmy Dore, let's debate. You get very aggressive about your policies, about, people in middle America, about Christians and whatnot, so I would love to have a debate with you on that. But for the most part, at least Jimmy Dore and a lot of these progressives, New Age progressives, are diving deeper. They're talking about the intelligence communities. They understand that Trump is kind of outside the system. To me, in my opinion, they're not quite as developed as someone like me. Once again, it's no hating. Who knows what the right answer is? I'm always down to have a policy conversation, and I'm always learning every day. I'm not that opinionated. I don't have that many structured stances, but Progressives, they're talking deeper. They're diving deeper. They know what's going on. They know the Russia thing's a lie. They know the Democratic Party's a lie. So just those two stances alone, the fact that they know the Russia thing is a total fraud, and the fact that they know the Democratic Party is a total fraud, it makes them 20 times more intelligent and 20 times more progressive than liberal Democrats. And I say this out of love. I think there's so many qualities on the left that need to be addressed. And I think there's a reason that we have a left and a right. We do need environment. We do need social justice. We do need all of these things that the left are supposed to be progressive on. It's just not coming from liberal Democrats. They're honestly a complete mirror to reality on almost every single stance, whether it's national security, whether it's equality, whether it's feminism, whether it's LGBT community. It's like these people have taken reality and flipped it 180, and they're lying about everything. So progressives, the new age progressives, they're actually telling way, way more truth. They're getting down to the core of it on most occasions, and their audiences are leveling up. If you're watching someone like a Jimmy Dore, you've learned more in 6 months or a year watching Jimmy Dore than you've learned in 20 years watching MSNBC or CNN, because they're not being very honest. And for that reason alone, the progressives, the new age progressives, are just overlapping liberal Democrats, because all the liberal Democrats have is the TV networks. They own and control all the TV networks. They are PR teams for the Democrats. Does not matter what the Democrats do. These news sources are protecting them at all costs. It's not even debatable. They're 100% attack dogs on anyone outside of them, and they're a phony PR team. They're not a news sources. They're not news companies. They're not, oh, let me read the news. They're strategic PR companies in disguise as a news company. They're agencies disguised as news companies. Nothing about them is unbiased. Nothing about them is accurate. They're literally, in many cases, just propaganda outlets who their whole strategy is to misinform, misdirect, and mislead people. I mean, what better proof do we have of this entire election? They lied about this entire election. We found out from documents that they rigged this entire election. The DNC was compromised. The media was compromised. Everything was compromised. And they still lost, so look what they're doing. So in that sense, progressives, they get it. They're deeper down the rabbit hole. One thing that I think, there's only, I would say, maybe H.A. Goodman is one progressive that doesn't really hate on Trump. I think Jimmy Dore hates on Trump a little more, but even when he does, he's like, oh, this isn't Trump's fault. This isn't, like, he's getting close. And I think it's good to have some pressure on it, and it's good to have different sides talking about different policies. But I differ personally, just to get into a little personal preference, I differ from progressives. If you want someone like a Bernie Sanders to make government bigger, to make taxes higher, and to make socialism more common, the first thing you need is trust. Because I think some of these socialistic programs could work if you had a trustworthy government. But if you have a guy that's going to take $200 million from his supporters, do the exact opposite of what he said, start protecting the mainstream media, start protecting the DNC, buy a vacation house while talking about the working class, have 3 houses, and never even stand up to the most corrupt entity in the United States, and then go on tour with Tom Perez, you're not going to sell big government to me. I get it ideologically wise. Oh, wow, this will really help people. But the first thing you need is trust. And you can't trust somebody who does all that stuff. So no, I don't think we should do that type of stuff. But at least, like I said, with the Russia stuff, with the media, with the intelligence communities, and with the big picture, and what Obama was really doing, what Hillary was really doing, progressives understand that. And even though we differ on a lot of occasions, I respect that so much that they're willing to tell the truth about that, and even do some other stuff that I'm not covering. I respect that so much, because that's what being a real American is telling the truth about stuff. But the modern day, I'm sorry, if this is the first time you've watched me and you're like, I saw your moon video and I'm just keeping it real. I'm not a hater. I have no really big set views. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a conservative. But the liberal media has gotten so bad, they're lying about almost everything. They don't want to tell you that Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton killed the leader of Libya, which was one of the wealthiest and best places in Libya. Was not perfect. In Africa. Was not perfect by any means, but now there's slavery and reports of organ harvesting and slavery in Libya, thanks to Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. But you won't hear a word about it, because everybody on TV is compromised. They just are. I mean, I barely watch, I don't even own a TV. So I only watch it when I'm at someone's house who has a TV. I watched 10 minutes of Trevor Noah, and it's just full on propaganda. It's so fake. It's not even funny. It's like I got dumber just from listening to him for 10 minutes because the whole thing is a lie. The whole news network's a lie. Everybody on TV, they're not telling the truth. And the reason I say this to people, I'm not here making fun of people. You don't hear me. Sometimes I get a little emotional and I think it's funny. Yes, I have a sense of humor, so I'll use words. I don't call people snowflakes, but sometimes I say other things, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I say this as a friend because I don't want a friend to listen to a bunch of lies and to live this delusional life that doesn't exist. And that's what they're painting. Facebook's painting it. Google's painting it. Twitter's painting it. CNN is painting it. MSNBC's painting it. SNL's painting it. Comedy Central now is painting it. They're all painting this story that's not real. And while they're convincing you that you're so much better and smarter and more knowledgeable than Trump supporters, the reality is Trump supporters are leveling up. Progressives are leveling up. People who watch Jimmy Dore are leveling up. People, who listen to me are leveling up. There's libertarians leveling up. There's conservatives leveling up. The modern day Republicans are leveling up. The Green Party's leveling up. People who like Bernie Sanders, they're leveling up. And the liberal Democrats are just leveling down. And it's just the craziest thing to me because I agree with a lot of their philosophy and ideologies as far as the reason, I don't like Trump because of this. I don't like Trump. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not like, yeah, he's perfect. And I would say just that. I get what you're saying, but you're being lied to on all fronts. And it's just getting so bad that if you ever want to win an election again, if you ever want to join reality and really make a stand against Trump or the modern day conservatives, or you want to stop the progressives from taking over the Democratic Party, you have to embrace reality. You have to stop thinking you're better than everybody and smarter than everyone when you're literally getting lied to on a daily basis, because it's just happening and it's never going to reverse because the silent majority is enormous. 65 million people voted for President Trump. 65 million. And most of the people that I know and that I talk to now that support President Trump like I do, they didn't even vote for him. So how high is that number really? When they put out these polls, he's so unpopular. I mean, he's unpopular among the crowd that believes the TV lies. Of course, if you watch TV, if you watch Rachel Maddow or any of these people I talked about, you think he's the second coming of Hitler. The irony of that is he just said move the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem. He's doing more for Israel and Jews, whether you agree or disagree with it. He's doing more for Jews than any other president ever, and they're trying to paint him as Hitler. Hitler wasn't this nice to the Jews. That's another major, major lie. I mean, it's so embarrassing and easily debunkable. I make videos and posts all the time. It takes me 2 seconds. It's like, breaking news, Mike Pence is going to snitch on President Trump and have a meeting. And then 5 paragraphs down, it's like, this couldn't be further from the truth. It's not true. He's not doing a meeting. It's like everything they do is a lie. I don't know at what point is their narcissism and their sociopathic mentalities and their stubbornness. They want to beat Trump really bad. They want to beat him, but their strategy's bad. It's the reason he won presidency. I mean, I don't think it would have been that hard specifically to beat President Trump. Maybe I'm wrong. But their strategy was just so piss poor that, they lost. Everything about their strategy was dumb. They didn't campaign in any states. Hillary didn't have press conferences for hundreds of days. She broke a record. She wasn't campaigning. Bernie Sanders had big rallies. Trump had big rallies filling stadiums. And she did 3 high school cafeteria meetings and canceled them because there were LGBT, Latino, gay activists who were yelling at her. She ran off stage. So, nothing about what they're saying makes sense. They lied about the polls. They're lying about these polls. If 65 million people voted for him, there's probably 40, 50, 60 plus million people who support him now, not counting all the people who just don't care and who just don't believe the news. In a week, I've reached more people a lot of times than a lot of these big TV shows. So it's everything's changing. They're lying about everything. This is a real analysis. Tag a friend or share, or maybe they'll listen, maybe they won't, but I don't really care. There's the comfortable lie everywhere, but this is the uncomfortable truth, the blunt, uncomfortable truth. This is why Trump supporters are winning. Trump haters are losing. Liberal Democrats are losing very badly. And progressive New Age left-leaning people are surpassing liberal Democrats on every single level. And I don't even think it's because of the policies. To me, my least favorite part about progressives is their policies. I never liked Bernie Sanders' policies. I don't like progressive policies. That's the part when I watch progressives, it makes me cringe. They're telling the truth, and then they're like, oh, we need this. And I'm like, I'll consider it. But my favorite part about them is that they get it. You know, on a big scale, they understand things are corrupt. They do need to change totally. But liberal Democrats, they have no stances. It's like they don't stand for anything. They have no... I think you could be progressives with like a policy, but what policies do liberals even have anymore? They're just obstructionists. They want to act like Obamacare is perfect and don't repeal it or don't do anything to it. I'm not saying to take away people's health insurance, but Obamacare is far from perfect. People's premiums are going up 300, 400, 500%, 600, 700%, and Democrats act like it doesn't even exist. There's hundreds of millions of Trump supporters, the biggest silent majority in the United States. Thank you for lying about it, to be honest, because now I'm able to level up. Every week I get 3-4 million views and, reach 8 million people. I reached almost 1 billion people this year. 1 billion people. From my couch, 1 billion people. You know why? It's because the biggest majority in America, they want to act like it doesn't exist. So that's fine. Keep acting like it doesn't exist. I'll level up, and my news company will, surpass yours in 5 years. So that's fine if you want to keep lying about it, but I'm here to help the people. It's not about ego. It's not about money. It's about the truth. It's about knowledge, wisdom, unity, peace, love, real peace and love, not fake peace and love, masqueraded propaganda disguised as stopping Trump, when really all it is a bunch of elite Hollywood celebrities who've been lied to their whole lives, and they can't handle the truth. I mean, you have people like Kathy Griffin, who's like, I'm fighting for equality for women. I'm trying to get paid as much. It's like, first of all, you have to be funny to get paid as much. So maybe you're not getting paid as much because you're not as funny as like a Kevin Hart or somebody. You're not selling as many tickets. But second of all, you're a multimillionaire who stays at hotels, who's made millions of dollars. I mean, who do you think you're unequal to? I mean, there's women who work working class jobs to feed their family and their kids who are still in debt because the American system is crumbling down on the working class and middle class people. And you're a multimillionaire fighting for your right to make more millions of dollars. I mean, these people are such narcissistic losers that their whole life is a lie. They believe the victim culture, the politically correct culture, that if you're a woman or if your skin color is a certain way, that everything's terrible for you, even if you're in the 0.000000001% of people. I saw a video of Swizz Beatz, who's Alicia Keys' wife and is a big hip hop producer. He's just rollerblading around his mansion with like massive, statues that are bigger than my entire apartment, smoking a cigar. It's like, is this your idea of oppression? I mean, you got tens of millions of dollars between you and your wife. You're skating around, and these are the same people that are like, oh, we don't get treated fairly. I mean, you're in the 0.00001 percentile of like lucky people to ever walk the face of the planet. You get treated like a king. You get treated like a god. In most cases, when you're an actor, you get treated like a god for pretending to be someone else. You're not even your authentic self. You're pretending to be someone else on TV, and people think you are that person. I mean, you couldn't possibly be more privileged. Male, woman, black, white, Latino, Muslim, Christian, Asian, doesn't matter. It's the greatest time ever to be alive. If that's your role, you're the luckiest person in the world. And they're still like, we need to take down Trump. It's putting a mirror to themselves and showing all of their, all of their inner strife and whatnot. But it's at the point where it's like, at what point are these people going to stop lying? Because, I had my moments where I was like, whoa, Trump is this big bad guy and he's going to destroy everyone because I'm listening to, progressives who are telling me he's going to destroy everything. And then I'm like watching reality unfold and I'm like, whoa, he changes his mind and he makes decisions and he says what he's going to do. He does what he says he's going to do. And I just shared a video. I mean, what he did with Jerusalem and Israel is what Bush, Clinton, and Obama all said they were going to do but didn't do. He's the first president who does what everyone else says they're going to do. When it comes to border security, it's nothing new. Obama deported 3 million illegals. He was the deporter-in-chief. He just didn't talk about it. It's like, we're so fake that God forbid someone tells you the blunt truth or has a little fun, has a sense of humor while doing it. People can't handle it. It's not, none of this stuff. It's nothing new. It's just years upon decades of people lying to people. And it's not just on the news and on social media, like I said. They also indoctrinate people via school. They teach them fake science. They're like, here's science, but don't question anything. It's like, that's not what science is. You conduct experiments, you question things. And sometimes 1,000-year-old experiments actually are incorrect when you have a new, hypothesis, whatever. I mean, recently they found out that the oldest human bones were in Morocco and not in Africa, and it changed our whole understanding of human civilization. That happened in a day, like tens of hundreds of thousands of years incorrect. That's what science is. It's always changing. We're always learning more information. And they've convinced kids that science is, you got to listen to Bill Nye. And if anyone questions Bill Nye's not even a real scientist. He probably gets paid by the Democratic Party or CNN to masquerade around and brainwash little kids. I mean, this is the level we're at, the level of deception that we're truly at. And I say this video because I want to help everybody learn. I want to help everybody grow. And I do want a stronger left-leaning side because we need it. I don't think all the answers are on the right side, to be honest. But the liberal Democrat has been so brainwashed and so manipulated by fake news. And every time they watch the fake news that they're watching, all it says, it's like Trevor Noah, he's like, look, alt-right, Charlottesville, alt-right. And everyone's like, Charlottesville, And they're like, oh my God, Roy Moore and Charlottesville and fake news, And then they walk away like zombies. It's like, what did you learn from that whole thing? He literally said the same thing they've been saying for 8 years. And no matter if it's a liberal Democrat or a conservative, listen to what they're saying. And either it's true or it's not true. At what point did this become learning? If Noam Chomsky says something that's true, don't scream at him, he's a snowflake, snowflake, and not listen to him. It's like, shut the F up, listen to what he has to say, and either agree with it or disagree with it. That's what I would say to the right. Same with the left. If Mike Cernovich says something, or Paul Joseph Watson says something, or Milo Yiannopoulos says something, either agree with it or disagree. Or Ben Shapiro, don't just be like, it's the alt-right, because Stephen Colbert told me it's the alt-right. It's making you guys dumber, and it's not helping. Never going to win another election. It's never going to work. It's a self-imploding strategy. I mean, at what point did this become liberal values? At what point did this become the Democratic Party? It's fallen so low. I just don't know. I can't find a single person who supports the Democratic Party to follow that I'm like, they have some knowledge to share. I'm sure there's some good journalists. I like people like Glenn Greenwald if I'm going to get an anti-Trump opinion, or even, like I said, some progressives. But I'm saying this as a friend. This is a good analysis. Got a little fun at the end. This is why Trump supporters are winning, why Trump haters are losing, and why New Age progressives are overlapping liberal Democrats on almost every single front. And it's not because they have the greatest policies, in my opinion. It's just because they're a little more real. The fakeness is not going to work anymore. Everybody's so, oh my God, this is the worst year ever. This is how real people have felt for the last 20 years. We're like, wake up. Society's fake. Everybody's lying to you. The movies are lying to you. It's all fake. They're just trying to turn you into consumers. So you buy, go to work and do everything for them. We've known this. So to us, this is a very liberating year. We're like, oh wow, people are finally waking up. And if you're believing all this fake news, you're like, oh my God, the whole world's melting. No, it's not. It's a great year. Everything's fine. The world's not melting. Trump's not destroying it. The news is lying to you. That's why Trump supporters are evolving. Christians are evolving. People of all religions are evolving if they're opening their minds. Conservatives are evolving. Progressives are evolving. Everyone's evolving. And liberal Democrats are devolving. But they have so much power when it comes to the mainstream media, celebrity culture, pop culture. All they have is the fake media. But we've known that for a long time now, that was what was really holding us back. We only know what we see, what we read, and what we hear. And for a lot of us, it wasn't until recent that we realized, wow, it's even more dishonest than I thought it was. They're really lying about almost everything. So I say this to help. You're not going to see this on TV. You're not going to see it on a progressive channel. You're probably not going to see it on a conservative channel. But this is the real reason and probably the most accurate analysis of why Trump supporters are doing well and evolving, Trump haters are devolving, and progressives are running laps around other left-leaning people. Thank you guys so much for considering, for listening. I appreciate you. I'm going to post my links below. My email list, it takes 5 seconds. It's free. I'll send you out a little December Christmas newsletter. I'm going to post my link below as well if you would like to donate to support the movement. It's 100% fueled by the people so we can keep it authentic and real. And if you don't want to do that, don't feel obligated. Save your money. buy your family something for the holiday season, buy yourself something. It's all good. I appreciate your likes, your comments, your shares. That means a lot too, and that is just as important, if not more important than even the money. So thank you guys again. Have an amazing week, and I'll be back for some more fun this week.